Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Cooper of Cooper's Mobile Mechanics and I'm back off my holiday, feeling refreshed, ready for another week of work. So I spent the week in Lanzarote. Weather was really nice and now I'm back here in England. It's a bit cloudy, wet, windy, it's a bit moody. I've kind of got the holiday blues still. Like I say, I've sort of got a bit more energy, ready for work now. But while we're on the subject of locations though, I've had a couple of comments on videos just from people saying sort of where they are. I think I had one from Ohio, one from Australia or something. So if you are watching this from a different country, just drop a little comment on there, just say where you're watching it from. Whether you're from a different country or a different area in England, it's really just for my own sort of interest really. I find it quite interesting just to see where these videos are reaching out to. But if you haven't seen these videos before, basically what I do is just show you either a full week as a mobile mechanic, or I'll show you a full day or one full job from start to finish. This week I'm going to be showing you my full week, Monday to Friday. I'll say for the full week, I'm not going to be showing you every job, just sort of as many jobs as I can show you, fit within the time really. And what I think you might find interesting. So if that sounds like the sort of content that you enjoy watching, then hit the subscribe button now to keep up to date with more videos like it. First job of the week is just a basic service on this Volkswagen Golf. So just in the oil and filter, got a new sun plug there. And then obviously just carrying out a full inspection of the car. I don't think there's really going to be much to find on this one, to be fair. I've been servicing it the last couple of years. Last year I did the major service and also did the timing belt and water pump on it. So while I've got the car jacked up and I'm draining the oil, I'll use this time to carry out the inspection on the front of the vehicle. So checking all the steering and suspension components, ball joints, bushes, things like that. Shock absorbers and springs, make sure they're in good working order. And then I'm also just checking the tyres. And then I'm also checking the brake pads and the brake disc thickness as well. Just making sure everything's in good working order. Anything that's not, I'll write it down, put it on the service inspection sheet that I'll give to the customer to give them a report. And anything that I might find, whether I think it's sort of an urgent repair or something that can wait maybe until next year, so at least then the customer knows what sort of condition their car's in basically. So we're not just purely jacking it up, draining the oil, chucking oil in and heading off. We're doing a proper service. Well, the only thing I've noticed on this is the rear brakes. So the brake pads, they're measuring it on 2mm, just there, or yeah, 2.5 millimeters. Usually recommend getting them replaced 3mm and below. The brake discs, I've measured the thickness as well, and they're just below the minimum thickness. So I'll recommend some rear disc and pads to them. But other than that, car's in good condition really, just set of rear disc and pads. Next up I've got this little Fiat Panda for a driver side rear brake pipe to replace. Failed the MOT the other day on this brake pipe being corroded, see there. So basically just joins onto the flexi over here, runs along and then goes onto the back of the wheel cylinder beyond the drum. So I'm going to clean up where these unions are, clean those up, get any rust and dirt off, just so that I can make sure that they can come off nicely. I'm going to clamp off the flexi down at this end. I'll clamp the flexi off, just stop it from dripping too much. Hopefully it'll be nice and straightforward, but it's not a big long pipe. Let's get that out and then just follow it along and make a new pipe really. Well, I got the old pipe out. Didn't come out too badly, to be fair. The unions came off nicely. The pipe did break on that end, which doesn't matter because I'm replacing it anyway. But I've got my new pipe here. All the bends hopefully should be in the right place. So I think it goes that way. Yeah, it's that way, yeah. Hopefully it all goes in nicely. So I just want to get the union in back here and then I'll just follow along. Go in that clip there, and that clip there, and then screw it onto the flexi pipe. Then I just need to bleed the brakes, get all the air out of the system and give it a road test. I'll probably hold the pressure bleeder on for a while and just monitor it for sort of 10-15 minutes, just make sure it doesn't leak. Well, so I've just got the pressure bleeder on. Had it on there for a little while. That union's looking dry, no signs of it leaking there. And same on this one as well, it's all looking nice and dry. Pipe work all running in the clips where it should be, it's looking nice and tidy. So I'll just need to bleed it off. Hopefully that nipple comes off nicely. Just crack that open, get all the air out of the system, and then take it for a drive and make sure everything's okay. Right then, it is Tuesday afternoon, my last job of the day. I've just got a set of front disc and pads to do on this Renault Capture. She contacted me last week, I think, just asking to get them done. Not sure, I think maybe the disc might have got advised on the MOT, got quite a bad lip on them. Pads themselves don't look too bad, but obviously you're not going to do the discs without doing the pads. So yeah, just come here to replace both front disc and pads. Quite a simple job to do on these, to be fair. It's a caliper with 13mm bolt there and there, just counter hold up the 15, get the caliper off, get the caliper carrier off, and then got the fitting kit here. I haven't got a new one because it's a 69 plate, pretty new car. All that is really just going to be, you're just going to have brake dust on there. It's not going to be corrosion, so they're going to be fine to clean up and reuse. Like I say, this is the last job of the day. I've had this morning had a service on a Vauxhall Mariva, and I had a service on a Volkswagen Tiguan. They also had a bit of diagnosis on there for coolant leak. They think they've been topping it up sort of once or twice each month or every couple of months, so they just wanted me to have a look there. It's kind of difficult with that one. There wasn't real obvious external leaks on it. There was a little bit of residue underneath the crankshaft pulley, showing signs that maybe the water pump is leaking. The front crankshaft seal is leaking oil as well, so I have said at some point it'd be worth getting that all done together. Yeah, it's been a bit nice, pretty chilled out day today, to be fair. Just a couple of services, bit of diag, now some brakes, and then I've got a few jobs I need to price up. I've just had a guy phone me up just while I was on the way to this job, actually. He's got a Ford C-Max, I think it was. He wants a service, timing belt doing, and he just said he's got a couple of bits from MOT advisories. He hasn't said what they need doing, so once I've done this, I'll get in touch with them, and then I can get that all priced up, get home, do some admin bits. I'm trying, say it's autumn, so it's the beginning of November now, beginning of November, so it's going to start getting dark pretty soon. Usually what I do, or what I like to do, is try and get done before it gets dark in the autumn and the winter time, because by sort of mid-December it's going to be dark. About 3:30 it'll be dark. You just can't see what you're doing. I'm not going to be able to see what I'm doing while I'm working. It's going to get freezing cold, so I always try and get done before it gets dark. So I'll work more in the summer, a little bit less in the winter. It seems to work well for me. So I've got the new brake disc on, and then I've got the caliper carrier here with the fitting kit, so that's where the brake pads go onto. We'll just put the paste on. So I've just taken those off, give them a clean up underneath, and then got some paste on there, and that'll allow the brake pads to slide backwards and forwards nicely. So whip that back on, get the caliper on, and then go do the other side. Really nice, simple, straightforward set of brakes these are, to be honest. Alright, it is, what day is it today? Thursday morning. So we've got a Fiat Arona for a timing belt water pump and a new crankshaft, front crankshaft seal, because it's leaking. I was here a couple of weeks ago before I went on holiday to service it, and noticed that was leaking, so I'm going to replace that with the timing belt water pump. And then I've also got some rear disc and pads to replace as well. I'll just be starting off at the top, so I just want to basically get everything here out the way. Fuel filter, coolant header tank out the way, all the pipe work out the way, then I can get the cover off. Engine mount obviously, but I'll wait until once I've done that, I'll go underneath, get everything out underneath, support the engine from under there, then I'll take the engine mount off. Well, so that's where I want to get to, up top. So I've basically taken off the header tank, fuel filter housing and everything, and just put it all over to one side. Got everything out the way just to allow me to get to the upper timing cover. So now, if I go underneath, obviously you want to get the auxiliary belt off, get the crankshaft pulley off, get the lower cover off. I can support the engine, get the engine mount off, and then I can just swap the timing belt over. One of my favourite timing belts to do these are, I think just because of how many I've done, you just know, you have your own process and you can just sort of fire away. As soon as you open the bonnet, you know exactly what you're doing, you know what tools you need to use. Yeah, nice quick and easy belt, I think. Well, everything's stripped down, engine's timed up, so I've just got the locking tool in the camshaft pulley, high pressure fuel pump, and then down the crankshaft pulley down there as well. So now it's all timed up. I want to slacken off this belt, slacken off this one, slacken that nut off, take the tensioner off, and then I can take the belt off, swap over that idler roller, that one there, swap the water pump over. But before I put everything on, I'm going to be changing this crankshaft, there's the housing with the crankshaft seal on it. See there, it's leaking oil. So I basically just need to get that bolt out there, which is going into the crankshaft, take the bolt out, get the sprocket off once all the bolts off, and swap this over. So you've got 4 bolts here going up through the sump, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bolts I think it is around there. Apologies if the sound isn't very good today. I left my mic at home, so I'm just having to film it with my iPhone, just the usual speaker, so yeah, it might be picking up a lot of background noise, I'm afraid. Right, timing belt and everything's all done, so I've just got the rear disc and pads to do. You see how low the pads are, 2mm. Lower on this side than the driver's side actually, so I did say I'll have a look and just see if the caliper's seized. It may just be a case that the pads are stuck in, similar to that Ibiza Cooper that I had the other week. Obviously you can see I've had the discs out as well, so yeah, nice straightforward swap over. Just got to get that T30 bolt out for the disc, 13mm here, and counter hold it with a 15 there and there, get the caliper off. You can get these discs out without taking the caliper carrier out, and then obviously the usual, just give it all a clean up, grease it all up, and bang it all together. Right then, Friday morning, just got an Audi A4 just for a service. Just draining the oil at the minute. We've also got the glow plug and engine management light come on. So just had a look, and it's these 3 faults. The glow plug faults, they've been there for a long time. I've been servicing this car for a while, and so those glow plug faults in there for a while. But he's had these throttle actuator faults come up. So just thought I'd quickly show you. Just the throttle body here, with the actuator on the side of it. Pull the connector off, and it's all full of oil in there, look. Which is going to be doing it no good. So I'm going to take the throttle body off, see what's going on in there. I imagine all inside the actuator is going to be full of oil as well. Yeah, have a little look into that, see what's going on. I've taken the throttle body out, and I've taken the cover off the actuator, and it is swimming in oil in here, to be fair, which is a bit weird. So I think I'm going to, obviously this all needs cleaning up. Hopefully we can just sort it by cleaning it up for now. But I'm going to have a look at the rest of the engine, see if there's anything else going in, see why there's oil getting in there. It may well just be that the throttle body is sort of failing, so it's leaking internally. So you do get a little bit of oil in here. Obviously you've got the pipe comes from the intercooler onto there. You do get a little bit of oil in the system, so maybe over time it's just been slowly getting a little bit of oil leaking from the body into the actual actuator itself, causing it to fill up with oil, or maybe there's something else that's going on. Yeah, I'm going to have a little look. Right, so I've checked over the rest of the engine, and there's not what I would consider an excess amount of oil around the engine. So my first suspicion was maybe the engine breather was failing, but I think you would see a lot more oil than what there is. So in the intake pipes, there's like a film of oil in there, but nothing major. So I think really it's just the fact that internally this throttle body is just leaking just over quite a long period of time. Oil has managed to get into the actuator and fill it up. So I've cleaned the throttle body and the actuator. I'll price up a new throttle body for him, because eventually, like, if we build it back together, it will happen again. But it may take a couple of years before you get a problem again. So I'll get it all priced up for him, just let him know, recommend a new throttle body, and go from there. Yeah, like I said, I don't think there's really any need to replace anything else at this stage, to be honest with you. Well, that's annoying. I just realised halfway through the service, gone to go get the oil filter out of my van, and I can't find it anywhere. Well, where on earth have I put that? So I had a look at my invoices from when I collected. So before I went on holiday, I collected all my parts ready for this week. Realised I never actually got an oil filter for this, did I? So I looked back, and we'd actually booked this job in, I think it was like the night before I went on holiday, so I'd already collected this week's parts, and then just never went and got an oil filter for this one. So I've got to head back out now to go and grab a filter for it, which is 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back. It's a little bit annoying, but the joys of being a mobile mechanic, I guess. Right, next up, got the Volkswagen Passat with a pretty poorly DSG mechatronics unit. So he has got a problem with selecting all the even gears, so second, fourth, sixth. It's got a fault in there for the position sensor too. So today we just got the simple task of removing the mechatronics unit. He's going to send it off to go and get repaired, and then next week I think we're going to come back and refit it. So for today, it's just a pretty nice straightforward one. So I'm just going to drain the oil. So take out that drain plug there. Take this one out here, get all the oil drained out, and then just got to take this, it's called the sump, it's like a cover plate. So I want to get this bracket off first, get this cover off, and then we'll get the mechatronics out, ready to be sent off. We'll drain the oil out from both plugs. I've just put the old plugs back in just for the time being, just because obviously I'm going to be taking it back out again next week, so I can change the seals and everything once I've got the kit. So now I just need to get the sump off. So I've got that 10mm nut there holding the bracket on, and then there's 4 of these T30s, I think, a couple more at the top. The cover's off. One thing I didn't mention was the connector, the plug connector on there. You've got to take that off first, obviously. So now I've just got some more T30s holding the mechatronics on. So I think about 6 or 8 holding it on. Once they're off, should just be able to take that mechatronics right off. That's what the mechatronics unit looks like from inside. So there's 9 bolts holding it in total. So I'll try to clean it up as best as I can, but there's just oil in all the little crevices. But he's got a box and everything. He's going to stick in the box, send it over to ECU testing to go and get repaired, and hopefully come back next week ready to put in. Right then, last job of the week. For some reason, I'm working this Saturday, which is not like me. I don't usually work Saturdays, but this customer, they messaged me a couple of days ago. I think they've got like a RAC report, a load of bits that need doing. So I said I could do it next week, but I think they were a little bit desperate to get it done a little bit sooner. So yeah, I said I'll come today and do it. So I've got a Nissan Qashqai. They were replacing the drop link on this side and the lower arm on this side. The drop link, the rubber boot is split. The lower arm, the ball joint, it's got excess play down there. And then on the driver's side, doing the trackward end, again, excess play on the ball joint. There's a couple of bulbs that needed changing. I've done those already. And then at the back, the exhaust heat shield is rattling around. So I'm going to have a look, see if I can re-secure that properly. I'm just going to start with the trackward end on this side then. Nice and straightforward, really. What I'll do is crack the nut off and then leave the nut where it is. Get the ball joint off this side. Get the trackward end off. Then when I get the new one on, if I leave the nut where it is, in theory, when I wind the trackward end back on, put it up against the nut, it should be pretty much exactly in the same place. Obviously, they need a wheel alignment doing after anyway, but at least it's going to be there or thereabouts, isn't it? That's the old trackward end out. You can actually feel there's play in the ball joint. If you grab it, you can sort of pull it in and out. Very floppy. A lot of play in there. Got the new one here. So like I say, in theory, now that I've just left the nut on there, once I wind this on like that, stick up that way, it should be in the same place. Now for the drop link, it's got that nut down there. Hopefully it should be quite nice and easy to get off. There's a nut here, a little plastic bit covering the thread. Eesh, can't get it off, but prise that off. Hopefully that cover there is preventing any dirt and rust build up around here, so hopefully it'll be quite nice and easy to get off, because I know sort of ball joints and drop links, they can be a bit of a pain to get off sometimes. The lower arm, it's just a nut and bolt there. There is 2 bolts, one nut on, one there, and one there. And then we just got the pinch bolt down there for the ball joint. Obviously we're replacing it with the ball joint anyway, so I can get my got a sort of fork to go in there, can get a bit aggressive to get it out. And then should be nice and straightforward to swap over, to be fair. Drop links out, lower arms out. It's the same on this one as well. You can feel the play. Hopefully it's picking it up on camera. You can feel the play in that ball joint. So it's a little bit stuck in there, this ball joint was. It came out alright, to be honest with you. We'll probably just, while it's off, just where it sort of mounts in there and there, I'll clean up as much rust as I can. Same down there. Clean it all up and then get the new lower arm in, new drop link in, and then go and tackle that exhaust heat shield. Got the new drop link and lower arm in. If you're ever doing a lower arm on one of these, just a little tip that I just found easier to do. So got it on this end first, got the nut and bolt in, but not tight, just so that holds it in place. And then what you'll find is this part here, where it bolts onto, it won't sit sort of parallel, it'll be at an angle. So if you get the ball joint up in first, get it in there with your nut and bolt, again, not tight, you can tighten it if you want to, but I left it loose, and then I've got a jack under here, lifted it up so that the lower arm came up like that, and then it gives you a better angle to get your 2 bolts in there. Otherwise you can kind of run the risk of cross threading them, because they're not going to go in straight. The bolts kind of sit like that. So if you lift the lower arm up a little bit, give you a better angle, you tighten those down, tighten this down, tighten that down, and it's all good. Alright, so this heat shield then, it's all wobbling around and rubbing on the exhaust. The hole here, that's where your nut would go. So somewhere under there, hopefully you can just see up there, that's where the nut is. There's probably 4 holding it on, 2 here on this side and then 2 back there. I haven't got a new heat shield to put on, but what I do have is some big penny washers, so I'll get the nuts off and then I'll put some big penny washers on here, get the nut on, that should secure it up out the way. And there we go, a couple of penny washers, 1 on each nut, 2 back there, 2 sort of back here somewhere, and it is nice and secure and away from the exhaust. Perfect. Well, that's me done for the week. It's been an alright week, to be fair. 6-day week though, which is never nice, especially the first week back off holiday. So yeah, a little bit tired this week, been struggling to sort of get back into it. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. I hope you've found it interesting or learned something. If you have enjoyed it, please like, comment, subscribe, share it around with your friends and family. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.